every weekend for the last 3, and then midweek games. So,
Do you know who's behind the plate?
Not yet. I put some names, but I don't know.
I got Syntec, Burgess, or Moore, and I'm guessing it's Moore, but I don't know that for sure.
sounds like a law office.
Okay, then it's going to be Burgess. Burgess will be, Syntec was in the second game.
Yeah, but Moore is the first game.
Okay, so it's got to be
Grant.
Grant.
Moore, though, is the...
Moore's not here today. I don't think.
Oh, well, by God.
I would guess it's Burgess because he didn't do a game yesterday.
Okay.
Or the new guy.
We don't know who the
Curtis Carlson is the third.
Curtis
He's the new guy.
Carlson.
Scratch Moore and Curtis Carlson.
I bet it's either him or Burgess.
Okay.
That's who I would go with too.
I'm going to go Burgess.
I can recognize
You know him?
I especially said who it was. Okay. I didn't get the signature.
He's a big hoss.
He's a big guy.
Big
Yeah.
boy on the
Yeah.
big side of life.
Living large.
Here? Oh, you're virtue trip. All right. We won't pick on you too much. I mean, we will, but not that much.
I don't think I'll be bothered. He'll want to go do Pinewood Derby today.
No Pinewood Derby for us. We're working.
All right.
No, but he, so I guess Micah told Mom about Pinewood Derby.
Micah does have a mind of his own, doesn't he? All right.
There's a cartoon. I had a buddy named Todd Fenster, last name Fenster. Well, his wife.
Let's wait till the umpires come out, otherwise we kind of run out of stuff to say. We're connected, so.
That is the dragon lady. I am missing my Todd Fenster liked to play it backwards in the game. Did not mess that. Except his wife came just playing it.
Yep. HR's on their way.
I know, they don't work on Saturdays. I found that out a long time ago.
Dootin' 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 doo.
My owner's got special insurance for me, he told me. I said, that's probably a good idea.
Relative insurance?
Huh?
Relative insurance?
Yeah, well, no, just good insurance for me. I ain't getting in trouble.
What's the worst that could happen?
These lips aren't very good on getting the stick back on.
You leave 2 years early?
Yeah, exactly. I already have my, I don't have my person in waiting, but I have my date incoming.
Yeah.
How soon do we do next one?
After the time.
All right, wind out of southeast at 20.
I'll probably come back in here and find out who the umpire is then. At that point.
Well,
Oh, you're gonna be able to tell me.
now.
You're gonna tell me now. It's not
All right, let's get started.
Burgess. Oh, it is Burgess. Yep. Burgess buying home plate.
And the one in the middle is...
The new guy?
Happy Saturday, everyone, and welcome to the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Coming to you live from John Stella Field at Brown Park, a 10-minute drive from the Bellevue University campus. We bring you more North Star Athletic Association baseball action. Another doubleheader today between the visiting Mayville State University Comets out of Mayville, North Dakota, and the home team, the Bellevue University Bruins. Mick Krupski back behind the microphone, joined today with Nick Grimm alongside me to provide the color commentary. Nick, a beautiful day for baseball. Yesterday was great weather. Today, more of the same. Sunshiny skies. Today, a little more wind maybe blowing out to left field. What are your predictions for a game number 1 contest?
It is an absolutely beautiful day, but I do think that wind you mentioned will come into play, especially with the power hitting that Bellevue has to offer, and Mayville State has seemingly struggled with pitching so far this season, so I think that is a deadly combination, especially out over, I think, left field's going to be busy today.
Bellevue with 55 home runs on the season in 37 games, so the Bruin Bats have come to life. 35 home runs in 32 2 games for the Comets, so we could see some more added to those totals. Looking down at the field right now, we see head coach Dwayne Monlix from the Bellevue Bruins, Billy Tomlin, the head coach for Mayville State, meeting with the 3-man umpiring crew who will be calling the balls and strikes, safes and out. Curtis Carson, Chris Sintek, and Bo Vergitz will be the 3 umpires for this afternoon's contest. Game 1, a 7-inning contest. Game 2, a 9-inning contest. And as we mentioned yesterday, today we are celebrating the 15 senior members of the Bellevue University baseball squad. They'll be honored in ceremonies originally scheduled for in between the games of the doubleheader, but they have decided instead to move it back and have it be after the second game. So be sure to stick with us after the second game for more. Seniors have been a very important part of every team in every sport.
They absolutely have, and these seniors specifically are all very, very special. They've done a lot for Bellevue and the Bruins, and it's going to be sad to see them go, but I'm excited to see where they go on to into the future and move on in their careers.
3 consecutive conference regular season and tournament titles, 3 consecutive appearances in the opening round of the NAIA National Tournament, 2 appearances in the NAIA Avista World Series, so a great legacy for these guys on the squad. Some of them members of the team for 1 year, some of them for 2, some 3, and even some with 4 years of experience under their belt. We'll talk about the 15 as the game goes on today. A beautiful sunshiny sky right now, 67 degrees. We're expecting a high around 80 degrees this afternoon for mid-April. That's wonderful, but winds out of the south, 20 miles an hour steady with occasional gusts, maybe up even closer to 30 miles an hour. If you're looking out into center field, there's 3 flagpoles out there, and the flags have been moving quite briskly this morning.
Even the tarp on the batter's eye is just a constant wave of wind.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups for today's first game of the doubleheader. First of all, the visiting Mayville State University Comets. But first, our national anthem. There's our national anthem. That means we're just about set for first pitch in today's action between the Comets and the Bruins. Here now the starting lineup for the Comets. Leading it off for Billy Tomlin's crew, right fielder Chris Shotbell. Batting second and playing third base will be Kevin Conway. The 3-hole hitter is the left fielder Carson Lundmark. The cleanup hitter, the designated hitter, Cam Goff. Batting fifth and playing left field is Jalen Denton. Batting sixth, the second baseman Jack McQueen. The 7-hole hitter is the catcher Riley Rankin. Batting eighth and playing first base, Zach Evanochko. And batting ninth and playing shortstop, Tony Villarreal. On the mound today for the Comets, Calvin Watkins will get the start. Watkins 3-3, 7.31 earned run average. Let's give you a look now at the starting lineup for the Bellevue University Bruins out on the field in support of starting pitcher Southpaw Kenji Miller. Leading it off for Dwayne Monlix's team and playing third base will be Scott Hansen. Batting second and playing first base, Steven Elsner. The 3-hole hitter, catcher Logan Grant. The cleanup hitter is the center fielder Jake Lacey. Batting fifth and playing left field, Elijah Tanner. Batting sixth, the right fielder Anthony Lind. Hitting seventh, the designated hitter Aiden Macaris. Batting eighth and playing second base, Nick Gravel. And batting ninth, the shortstop, C.J. Townsend. As I said, Kenji Miller gets the start for today's first game. Kenji, a perfect 5-0 record on the year, 4.54. Tell us a little bit more about Kenji.
Kenji Miller, hello. Sorry, my microphone was turned down.
Sorry.
He is, my bad, I'm all flustered. Kenji Miller, like you said, he has a 5-0 record, and he is one of the heavy throwers for Bellevue. He has an ERA of 4.54. He started 6 games, and he's faced 154 batters with a whip of 129.
So pretty impressive stats for Kenji as we get ready for first pitch on this Saturday, April the 12th. First batter for the Comets, the right fielder, Chris Shotbell. First pitch swinging, fouls it out of play left side. Shotbell had a couple of hits in yesterday's action. He's the second leading hitter at 350. Carson Lundmark owns the honor, 2 ticks higher at 352. Fastball misses off the outside edge, evens the count 1-1. Now 2-1 as the next pitch fades off the outside edge. Kenji, a junior, 6'2", 180 pounds, out of Shoreline, Washington. Looks in, gets the signal from catcher Logan Grant. Hit in the air to the right field side. Anthony Lynn backtracking a bit shy of the warning track. He'll have room to make the catch for the first out of the game. Batting second, the third baseman, Kevin Conway. Conway had 3 hits in yesterday's doubleheader. That raised his average above the 300 mark to 301. First pitch, down low, ball 1. A little layer of filtered clouds overhead. That pitch upstairs. Bo Vergets, the home plate umpire.
Filtered cloud. That's a good term. I'd never heard that term before, but I see it.
My big meteorology background. Pull that one out, huh? That one's hit in the air, left field. Shallow left field. Shortstop going out. Left fielder Tanner coming in. No one's going to be able to get there to make the play. So a sky-high single for Kevin Conway, the first hit of the afternoon.
The way that ball was hit, it landed in just the wrong spot. It was right in the center of the triangle of Bruins. They were all just kind of trying to converge on it. Nobody wanted to hit each other, so unfortunately that's just kind of where it landed.
Perfectly placed by Kevin Conway. Next up, 3-hole hitter, left fielder Carson Lundmark. Lefty-lefty matchup. Pitch called the ball. Lundmark able to hold up his swing. Lundmark's brother Garrett got the start in yesterday's game number 1. Bruins winning that one 6-3, 11-1 to score in game number 2 yesterday. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball, 1-1 the count. Short lead at first base by Conway. Has to be a little extra cautious with the left-hander on the mound.
Lundmark sporting a little bit of lettuce under the helmet.
Again a breaking ball, again a swing and a miss.
He's got great hair, Mick.
There you go. That was the length of my hair in college. Mine was more wavy, though. Back in the 70s. The set and the pitch. Again, the breaking ball. And a quick toss down to first base, the runner back. But Carson Lundmark becomes the first strikeout victim for Kenji Miller on the day. Cleanup hitter, designated hitter Cam Goff. Goff played some right field in yesterday's second game and made not 1 but 2 really highlight reel catches on defense. First pitch to Goff on the outside edge, strike 1 call. Kenji, great numbers, 47 strikeouts, now 48 strikeouts on the year against only 10 walks. That one gets Goff in the rear end, and so there'll be 2 base runners on as Conway advances to second, and Goff gets the bruise and a base.
You could really hear the ball make impact, too.
Left fielder Jalen Denton, the next man up. A lot of left-handers in the Mayville State lineup. Said that yesterday. It's a statement of fact again for today. Denton looks at the first pitch. Down a little bit too low.
Denton kind of rubs his hand, try to get a better grip on that bat.
Denton hitting .233. He had 1 hit yesterday in the doubleheader. A little chopper out to second base. Gravel makes a nice play, fielding the ground ball on 2 hop. It hit the turf and then just kind of died. 2 quick short hops. Nice job by Nick Gravel to circle around it, making the catch and the throw. 4-3 on the play. In the top of the first, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 runners left on base. After a half, it's the Comets nothing, and the Bellevue Bruins coming to bat.
I really liked that play he made. The way he caught it, he just used his momentum to shifted over to first, and it was just in time to make that final out of the inning.
Circled behind the ball to get a good angle on his throw. All right, it'll be a battle of left-hander for the Bruins against right-hander for the Comets. Calvin Watkins will take the hill for Mayville State. A 3-3 record on the season, a 7.3 run earned run average. As the Bruins, pretty much the same lineup that we saw in yesterday's doubleheader. Hansen, Elsner, Grant, Lacey, Tanner, Lind, Macaris, Gravel, and Townsend. Got some information for us on Calvin Watkins.
He's a right-handed senior from Minot, North Dakota, with a 6.97 ERA through 32 innings. He's won 2, lost 2 so far this season.
His defense gets ready behind him. Let's set the defense for the Comets on the infield. Zach Evanochko at first base. Jack McQueen at second. The shortstop is Tony Villarreal. And the third baseman, Kevin Conway. Outfielders are Jalen Denton in left, Carson Lundmark in center, and Chris Shotbell in right. The battery, Riley Rankin will be doing the catching. Calvin Watkins on the hill. And the people in Minot, North Dakota love your French pronunciation of Minot there, so.
I like to add some flair to words sometimes, you know?
My wife, a French teacher and a German teacher, so she likes it as well. So, for the Bellevue Bruins, leading it off and playing third base, Scott Hansen.
I've always thought French was a beautiful language, Mick.
It's the language of love. Ooh la la, oh la la, actually. Here we go. Scott Hansen had one hit yesterday in the doubleheader, hitting .353 on the season. Here's the first pitch from Watkins, and whoops, that one slipped out behind Hansen all the way to the screen. We saw that happen once yesterday as well. Just ball slipped out of the grip.
If Scott Hansen was a Rockies player, he would have tried to swing at that. I can say that. I'm a Rockies fan.
Bemoaning the fact the Rockies not off to a great start, let's say. Hansen, almost identical numbers between his season batting average and his conference batting average. .353 on the year, .355 in the 10 North Star games that the Bruins have played thus far.
It's consistency, we could call it that, right?
That's right. Here's a 2-0 pitch, way wide. So Calvin Watkins struggling to find the zone on the leadoff man, Scott Hansen.
Coming into this game, Calvin had 6 wild pitches so far this season through those 32 innings that he's pitched.
Bruins 26-11, 10-0 in conference. Taking a pitch, strike called, now 3-1. Bellevue is receiving votes in the NAIA Coaches Top 25 poll. The Bruins on a 13-game winning streak. Hopefully that's not an unlucky number. Bellevue 14-2 at John Stella Field at Brown Park this year. And Scott Hansen doing a nice job in the leadoff spot, taking some pitches and earns a walk. So the Bruins get the leadoff man on to start this off. That'll bring to the plate first baseman Steven Elsner. As we mentioned yesterday, that bicep strain on the left arm getting better. He's back on the field defensively now in his spot at first base.
With this concrete-colored bat.
So a different bat than what he's had previously in the season. Pitch inside from Watkins.
He's usually sporting the blue.
Elsner hitting .406 on the year and .371 in North Star competition. Again inside, 2-0 the count. Steven had 4 hits yesterday. The Bruins had 11 hits in game number 1, 15 hits in game number 2 against the Comets on Friday. And that one hits Elsner right near the belt as it just kept tailing in on him, nowhere to go. So a walk to Hansen and a hit by pitch to Elsner will bring up Bellevue catcher Logan Grant. First a visit from catcher Riley Rankin to his right-hander.
Well, Calvin last pitched on the 7th, so he's had a few days where he hasn't had to throw a ball. So maybe it's just a little bit of getting the rust off.
On the year, 21 strikeouts, but 19 walks. First mound visit for the Comets today. Hey, again, if you would like to be part of our broadcast, Bellevue fans, you know the number. Mayville State fans, we invite you as well. 402-515-7654. Logan Grant awaits. Grant, the team leader in home runs and run batted in. An opportunity for him to put the Bruins on the scoreboard. Pitch misses outside. Logan hitting .355 on the year. And actually one of the few Bruins hitting a little bit lower than that in conference play. .308 in the 10 North Star games. Logan, a home run in game number 1 yesterday. Bunt down the third base line. Perfect spot. And Logan will beat that one out.
That is my favorite kind of bunt to see. I don't like sacrifice bunts. I like bunts that can advance the runners, and if it'll load the bases, why not?
So Logan gets credit for that infield single on the bunt. Jalen Ruffin will step in as his usual courtesy runner opportunity. And the Bruins will send up the cleanup man, Jake Lacey. Jake didn't have 1, didn't have 2, didn't have 3, didn't have 4. He had 5 hits in yesterday's doubleheader. His average now .374 on the year, .594 in North Star play. That's getting it done from the 4-hole. First pitch swinging down the right field line. It's tailing away from the right fielder toward the line. He drops the ball in fair territory. Bruin base runners will all advance 90 feet. Glenn, are you the official scorer today? E9 is the official ruling on that. It will be a run batted in for Lacey. Scott Hansen scoring the first run of the game. Steven Elsner advancing to third. Jalen Ruffin at second and Jake Lacey at first. Bruins up 1-0. Still nobody out as the first 4 have reached. Here's left fielder Elijah Tanner.
The way the wind is blowing, I understand how he could not quite track that ball.
First pitch, a breaking ball in the zone from Calvin Watkins. Strike 1 called. Again, a windy day. Wind blowing steadily at about 20 with gusts higher than that. So right fielder Curtis Schabel had some trouble. That one's hit into the gap in the hole, and that will be no play for Tony Villarreal. The infield single by Elijah Tanner and a run batted in. Elsner scoring on the play. Ruffin to third, Lacey to second, and Elijah Tanner with the run batted in. Now 32 runs batted in on the year.
That was a beautiful gap shot, just perfectly right between third and short.
Here's Bellevue right fielder Anthony Lind. Lind takes the first pitch inside. So first 5 have reached for Bellevue. Bellevue trying to jumpstart things at the bottom of first on senior day. That one's hitting the air to right center field. Center fielder will give way to the right fielder. A tag at third. And the Bruins lead it 3-0. A sacrifice fly and a run batted in by Anthony Lind. A 3-0 lead for the Bruins. Lacey holds at second. Tanner holds at first. And that'll bring to the plate designated hitter Aiden Macaris. Aiden had 1 hit yesterday, a monster home run to left field. His 6th home run of the year. So an opportunity for the Bruins. As some texts are coming into the queue, we'll get to those in the half inning. Breaking ball in the heart of the plate, strike 1 called.
Aiden Macaris, a sports management major.
First year as a Bellevue Bruin. He filled in at first base defensively for Steven Elsner with his injury. Been acting as the DH this entire weekend. 0-1 pitch, misses in. Calvin Watkins continues to work. Hasn't been missing badly except for 2 pitches to the leadoff man, Scott Hansen. He's been around the zone, but not quite in it. Bruins have been patient waiting for pitches to get there. Again, inside, 2-1. That's where he's been missing most of the time today, on the inside part, just off the inside part of the plate.
You just got to recalibrate a little bit.
Macaris ahead in the count, 2-1. That one a little bit too tall. 3-1 count. Hitter's delight for Aiden. He'll look for a pitch in a spot, something he can drive. Watkins comes set just above the belt and delivers. And that one again is a ball. So the bases will once again be loaded. Lacey advancing to third, Tanner to second, and Aiden Macris on with the walk. So bases loaded, one out, and the batter. And we saw this strategy employed by the Bruins yesterday as well. Nick Gravel getting a start at second base for defensive purposes, and then he'll be substituted for as Balas Buckmaster will come on. Buckmaster more than likely will hit a couple of at-bats, 2 or 3 at-bats, maybe more, for Nick, and then Nick will probably return to the game, re-enter the game late for defensive purposes.
It's really nice to have these amount of guys that have this amount of talent where you can just slot them in and slot them out and really give yourself the best advantage you can.
Balas hitting .328 on the season. He, too, another one of those guys that's been lighting up North Star pitching. .556 in the 10 North Star games that he has played.
That last pitch, the last pitch that was just thrown, it barely looked like it skimmed Gravel.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball, evens the count 1-1.
Calvin Watkins, I knew I'd get there.
You won't be smelling it on the broadcast, but people here in the bleachers today might be smelling a little bit of smoke down low. Every year, this time of the year, in the Flint Hills of Kansas, they have a tradition of lighting fires, burning off last year's crops and weeds, and so when the wind comes out of the south, it'll bring that Kansas smoke up this way. Line hard in left field. Balas Buckmaster continuing swinging the bat. That's going to score 2 as the ball is bobbled out in left field. Runners will be at the corners as Balas Buckmaster, a 2-run batted in single, scoring Lacey first and then Tanner behind him. Macris advancing to third on the play. So Balas will be above that .556 mark, as that strategy that Dwayne Monlix has employed for the Bruins this series has been working to perfection. The 9th batter in the inning, shortstop C.J. Townsend. C.J. Townsend and Austin Sheaver, the 2 members of the Bruins squad who have been 4-year veterans of the Bellevue Bruins, takes a called strike 1. 5 runs across in the bottom of the first inning, a tough start for Calvin Watkins. CJ tries to bunt. They're going to say a foul ball. He was still in the batter's box when it came up and made contact. So now 0-2. Not a suicide squeeze, a safety squeeze. CJ was trying to push the ball up the first base line to get Macris to scamper home. Instead, it's 0-2 count.
You mentioned earlier about the burning in Kansas. I didn't know they did that for a reason. I thought they just liked to mess with us.
That could be part of it, too. On the ground, past the pitcher's mound. That will score a run. Trying to go to second base. They say the out is recorded there on a bang-bang play. So C.J. Townsend will reach on the fielder's choice. He'll get credit for a run batted in as Aiden Macris will score. Buckmaster out at second on the toss from McQueen to Villarreal. So the Bruins are going to mess with my scorebook. They're going to bat around in the first inning. And for the second time in this inning, Scott Henson will face Calvin Watkins.
The way Townsend hit that ball, it looked a little awkward. He really leaned into it. He probably could have just let it go, but it worked out.
Fly ball to right field. Settling underneath it out there is Chris Shotbell, and he will make the catch this time, and the side is retired. Well, the Bruins, pretty productive. 6 runs on only 3 hits. There was 1 error.
3 hits, 1 error,
and 1 man left on base. After 1 complete, the Bruins 6 and the Comets nothing. All right, the Bruins with a great start to today's game. We've got some text messages in the queue. Bill and Pam Townsend, baby, let's go Bruins. They're in the stands today here at John Stella Field at Brown Park for Senior Day. What a great day for Senior Day. Found some sunscreen, so they're all good. Great again to have you guys along hand here. And thanks again for the baby to get us started. Greetings from Jim and Amber Shorey. Going to be a little toasty in Arizona, 100 degrees down there. Dustin Shorey, a 2-year member of the Bellevue squad, a great pitcher for the Bruins the last couple of years. Glad that he was able to participate in the Bellevue baseball program. And our Alaska fan club is joining us. Buck up in Anchorage. Thanks for sending along your greetings today. So we're going all over the place. We've been in the stands, we've been in Alaska, and we've been in Arizona. So thanks for joining us. Again, that text message number is 402-515-7654. We had some Mayville State fans joining us yesterday as well. So again, we invite you, Comet fans, as well as Bruin fans, to participate with Nick and me. Nick and Mick.
Mick and Nick, you get first billing.
Okay, there we go. Since I'm the old guy here. Back to the hill goes Kenji Miller. The first man he will face is second baseman Jack McQueen. Strike one call on the first pitch. McQueen, a .241 hitter on the season. Took an offer in yesterday's doubleheader, but made some nice defensive plays. Bruins will appeal to first base. It not necessary as the 0-2 count. McQueen settles in, so does Miller. Chopped on the ground to third. Just inside the baseline, across the diamond on a strong throw. Scott Hansen makes the play for the Bruins, and Jack McQueen is retired 5-3. Next up for the Comets, the catcher, Riley Rankin. Rankin had a couple of hits yesterday. .276, his average on the year for Mayville State. Mayville State 11-21 overall. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. And 3-7 in their 10 North Star Athletic Association contests.
Rankin from Crosby, Texas.
Another breaking ball, even wider. And once again, Rankin comes up empty on the swing.
Population of 3,417.
Kind of a wide spot in the row. Back to back breaking balls and swings and misses. Riley Rankin goes down, the second strikeout victim for Kenji Miller. So Kenji very sharp starting this one off. Again, game number one, the 7-inning game. Game number two, the 9-inning contest. Here's first baseman Zach Evanochko. Swing and a miss on another breaking ball. So Kenji's really found the release point and spin on his breaking stuff. And guess what that pitch was? Another breaking ball. That one may have been more of a slider, had a little bit shorter, sharper break on it than the big overhand breaking ball. So working ahead of Evanochko. Foul back to the net. Count remains at 0-2. Zach Evanochko, that's a fun name to say. Over the years I've been broadcasting and doing PA work, I have some particular favorites that I will always remember. Swing and a miss, blocked up by Logan Grant. He'll throw on the outside of the baseline to first baseman Steven Elsner, and back-to-back strikeouts. That one 2-3. 3 up, 3 up, 3 down, top of the second inning as puberty hits me at age 70 finally. Our score remains the Bellevue Bruins 6 and the Mayville State Comets nothing.
Congrats, Mick.
There we go. There we go.
Evanochko from Winnipeg, Manitoba, so another player in the North Star, hailing from the great neighbors to the north.
All right. Bruins have 7 Canadians, and I didn't count the exact number for Mayville. I know they have at least a couple. Manitoba, Saskatchewan, another Manitoba, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, so many of the Canadian provinces joining the United States.
I mean, you know what we always say whenever we do a show or a game together, Mick? It's geography. We love geography.
Geography, baseball, they're just, they go together.
They do. It's the world sport, Mick. Or is that soccer?
Well, yeah, I think we have to give the nod to soccer on that. So I never quite understood why soccer was called the perfect game, but after coming from my granddaughter, who's 8 years old, her soccer game earlier this morning, yeah. That's a whole different level of fun to watch 8-year-olds running around in the soccer field and trying to kick the ball at each other. Anyway, back to baseball. Back to the hill goes Calvin Watkins, trying to have a better second inning than what happened in the first. That's what I'm missing, my binoculars.
Well, you need those, Mick.
We saw a parade of pitchers for Mayville State in yesterday's second game. All right, leading it off for the Bellevue Bruins. Already the second time up today for the two-hole hitter, Steven Elsner. Hit by pitch, his first time up. Tries to check his swing, cannot. Slider, strike one call. Let's put him over there.
You just wanted to put your big binoculars next to my smaller ones.
There we go. I lost my smaller ones, so I had to bring out the big guys today. Breaking ball again in the zone. 0-2 on Steven.
Those are some good bird watching binoculars. You bird watch much?
I've had those longer than you've been alive, Nick. So actually, those were a birthday gift from my sister, probably close to 50 years ago now. Thank you, Sears Roebuck. And thank you, my sister Gail. 1-1 the count.
Sears Roebuck, you're right. That is longer or older than I am.
Yeah. She used to work there, so I'm sure she got a good employee discount. Here's the 1-2 offering. Swing and a miss as Elsner goes down for the first out in the inning. First strikeout of the afternoon for Calvin Watkins.
As he swung at that last pitch, he knew that he'd messed up too. He kind of did like a like grunt. You just got to shake it off.
Much better to grunt than say profanity, so.
That's true.
Yeah, that may have come as well. Here's catcher Logan Grant. Logan with a single his first time up, a bunt up the third base line. He comes up empty on the first swing. Logan, a 3-year member of the Bellevue squad. He's one of the 15 players that'll be honored. And in case you were with us yesterday, original plans were to do the ceremony between games of the doubleheader. Now they've changed it to the after the second game. So after the baseball is complete, then we'll have the ceremony. So be sure to stick with us for that. That one's fouled or hit up the third base line near the foul line. A couple of guys giving chase, and it'll drop foul. Jalen Denton, the left fielder, on his horse trying to get there, but didn't quite have enough time to make the play.
I do always love an outfielder that'll go for the ball like that. And Denton, the way he got on his knees trying to make the play, I respect that. I like that.
Logan Grant hustling out of the box. It landed only a couple of feet into foul territory. I think probably just outside of our camera view. Logan was smelling a double on the play if it was fair, but instead it's 0-2 the count on the Bruin catcher. Foul back to the net. Logan's family here today from Windermere, Alberta, Canada, to be part of the festivities for Senior Day.
Oh, welcome.
A lot of the parents are here today, family, friends, a couple of grandparents as well. That one's lined hard to left field, but right at the left fielder. Making the catch is Jalen Denton for the second out of the inning. Hit well, but right at the left fielder for the second out. Bellevue cleanup hitter Jake Lacey will step in. He hit a fly ball down the right field line.
Center fielder number 21.
Ruled an error, but also ruled an RBI his first time up. And that time he'll be on first base on the hit by pitch as it bounced up near his ankles. That's not where you want to get hit. Yeah, he's going to hop, skip, and jump down to first base.
Mick,
Yep.
he got a sac fly as well in the first at-bat.
Okay. Glenn lets me know sacrifice fly so he doesn't get dinged on the at-bat on that fly ball first inning.
When that ball came up, it looked like it nailed him right in the thigh to the meat of the thigh as well. I'm going to have to walk that one off a little.
Looks like he's going to be okay as Elijah Tanner patiently waits at home plate. We have Glenn, we have Adam, we have Nick, we have Mick, and we have Ray. Where'd Ray go? Is he actually broadcasting outside, enjoying the nice day? So
I can't
kind
say
of a crowded press box in here, so we're adding on. That's hit to center field. Coming on is Lundmark. He's got it tracked, and he'll catch it for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, one man left in the bottom of the second inning. We continue on. The Bellevue Bruins 6 and the Mayville State Comets nothing. Here are the seniors who will be honored after today's doubleheader. The Bruins always do a nice job with that ceremony. They present the players with some nice parting gifts. It's not the end of the season. Still have a month or so to go, maybe longer if the Bruins qualify for the NAIA World Series. The seniors are number 3, Jaden Vinson, number 4, Scott Hansen, number 7, C.J. Townsend, number 9, Elijah Tanner, number 10, Logan Grant, number 13, Parker McMahon, number 20, Jace Wessels, 21, Jake Lacey, 24, Balas Buckmaster, number 25, Jordan Brandenburg. Brady Toth is number 26, number 27 is Austin Sheever. Number 33, Gavin Wuschke. Number 36, Stephen Elsner. Number 42, Teron Williams. And number 44, Jared Eifler. So congrats to those guys for all their contributions to Bellevue baseball.
I said this at the top, Mick. This is a really special group of guys. And, I mean, Bellevue, of course, they're going to have a lot of good guys. They're really good at developing these guys. But this class, I mean, you said it yourself. How many times have they been to the postseason?
Been a ton. I mean, three years consecutively, conference champions, regular season, and tournament. Kenji Miller back to the mound for the Bruins. His first pitch swung on and missed by shortstop Tony Villarreal.
Business major from Grafton, North Dakota.
Chopper foul up the third base side. Miller ahead, 0-2 on Tony Villarreal, leading off the top of the third inning.
I've been trying to figure out how to put more French spins on some of these other towns, but it's not as easy as Minot.
Way wide on that offering, a chase pitch that Villarreal didn't go after. Officially Juan Villarreal, according to the roster, but Tony on the lineup card, a breaking ball, the swing and the miss. That's the third strikeout of the, check that, make that the fourth strikeout of the afternoon for Kenji Miller. Kenji setting them up and setting them down. Second time through the order now for the Comets. Leadoff man, right fielder, Chris Shotbell. He flew out to his right field counterpart his first time up today. Miller back to work, and he'll line a single in the hole. That gets through to left field. Second base hit of the game for the Comets. So 1 on and 1 out. And that'll bring up the 2-hole hitter, Kevin Conway. Conway got the first hit, one that dropped between a trio of Bruin players in left field. Bruin middle infielders, a double play depth. Pop up shallow right field. Anthony Lynn will come on and take charge there. And now there are 2 away. So Conway with the fly ball to left field his first time up, a fly ball to right field his second time up. That'll bring to the plate center fielder Carson Lundmark. Lundmark struck out on this lefty-lefty matchup his first time up. 3 consecutive breaking balls from Miller. On the outside corner, Kenji gets the call. Kenji looks the runner at first base. Chopper. Balas Buckmaster on the charge. Fields it, throws the first, but not in time. A ball just was hit kind of too slowly. And Carson Lundmark with good speed coming out of that left-handed batter's box. He'll work the infield single.
The way that that ball was hit, just the way that it just bounced, it was really hard to get a beat on it and just grab it. So combined with his speed, the fact that they were able to advance both of those runners, a good hit, Mick.
Shotbell now at second. Lundmark at first. Here's designated hitter Cam Goff. Runner goes from third. A great jump at second by Chris Shotbill. Logan Grant having no opportunity there, so he looked to the trailing runner, and Carson Lundmark still at first base. And now runners at the corners. Logan Grant will go out in front of home plate and signal to his infielders what to do in case of a steal here. Ball one, the count on Goff. Hit by a pitch his first time up today. Crowds the inside part of the plate. Kenji will step off the rubber so he does not have to make a throw. Disengagement number one on this at-bat. There's a pitch for the call on the inside half of the plate. Goff really just a couple inches off the inside part of that right-hander batter's box. Breaking ball doesn't come in the back door. Now 2-1 the count. Throw over to first base, runner back easily. Both teams with 3 hits today. The difference, the Bruins have 6 runs on those 3 hits. And line drive back up the middle by Cam Goff. And now the Comets will pick up their first run on the RBI single by the DH, Cameron Goff. Chris Shotbill scoring on the play.
That was, again, another really good hit, well-hit ball. And it seems like the Bruins are struggling a little bit with all of them that just kind of come right up the middle like that.
Well-hit ball on a high fastball. And credit that steal of third by Chris Shotbill, an easy score on the play. It would have been a close play if he was still been at second base. A breaking ball to Jalen Denton is a called strike one.
Shotbill, no stranger to stealing bases either. According to my data, he's already got 11 on the season now.
Had one yesterday. In fact, he had 2 yesterday. Down the first base line, off the body of Steven Elsner. That'll be an E3. Throw to the plate is not in time. So Elsner tried to get down on that ball going down the line. It deflected off of his body. That allowed Carson Lundmark to come around from second base to score the second run of the game. Cam Goff advancing to third. So runners at the corners. Still 2 outs as the batter is second baseman Jack McQueen. So E3 on the play, no run batted in. Unearned run. Chop foul up the third base side. 1 earned run and 1 unearned run in the inning for Mayville State. Again, throw over to first base. Short lead over there for Denton. He's back easily. A great crowd of parents on hand for Senior Day today. Bellevue students as well. Backdoor breaking ball gets the corner. 0-2.
It was a really well-placed ball. It came right into the zone at the last minute. Beautiful pitch.
The 0-2, that was hit on the ground to Scott Hansen. He gloves the worm burner and across the diamond to retire Jack McQueen. Hansen has retired McQueen both times on ground outs. 2 runs in the inning on 3 hits. There was 1 error and 2 men left on base. So the Comets score 2 but leave 2. As we head to the bottom of the third, our score now 6-2, the Bellevue Bruins on top.
I think Mayville has noticed that the Bruins were struggling a little bit in the middle part of the infield. So they've been doing a pretty good job of taking advantage of that and just placing the ball. They've been really good with ball placement so far this game.
I'm laughing over here. My son sent me a video of my grandson pulling stickers off of a sheet and placing them all over his forehead. So he's got about a dozen sticker sheets on his face. So it's a good look on you, Mick.
What else are stickers for if not to put on your forehead?
That's right. That's right. A 2-year-old grandson, 2 granddaughters at 8 and 11, all of them at very fun ages and love to do things with them. So,
is your grandson a dinosaur kid?
Oh, of course.
I love dinosaurs. When I was growing up, I used to have a birthday cake every year. It would alternate between dinosaurs and NASCAR. My parents were big NASCAR fans, except they would always make it so my dad's driver, because we had little Hot Wheels we'd put on the cake, his driver was always crossing the finish line, and mine was always wrecked. Because my dad figured I already got a cake. I didn't need my driver to win, too.
There you go. 50-50. Everybody happy a litty bit, and everybody sad a little bit. Leading off the bottom of the third inning for the Bruins, right fielder Anthony Lind.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., by the way. That was my favorite driver.
All right. 43?
8.
8. Who's 43?
That was Richard Petty.
Richard Petty. I don't know much about NASCAR, but I knew the number 43 was significant. So, first pitch to Lind, a fastball for a called strike one. Anthony with the sacrifice fly. RBI his first time up today.
I guess it also depends on the year, too. Eric Jones currently has the 43. I don't really follow NASCAR anymore.
1-1 to count on Anthony.
I'm a Formula One guy now, Mick.
Excuse me, swing. Off the mound comes Watkins to field it. His throw to first base right on the money. 1-3 on the play to start off the bottom of the third inning. Next up for the Bruins, designated hitter Aiden Macris. Walked and scored a run his first time up today, hitting in the 7-hole for the Bruins.
Batting next for the Bruins, designated hitter, number 22, Aiden Macris.
Newcomer to the Bruin program, so he's not one of the seniors that'll be honored today. First pitch on the outside half of the plate for a strike one call.
We can honor him in our hearts, though, Mick. He's done a really, really good job this season.
Macris started his college career in Louisiana. Down low, in the zone, 0-2. Louisiana State University at Eunice, where he hit .327 in 2 years. Now a Bellevue Bruin. Has to protect the plate here. Chopper, third base side, just in fair territory. Long throw across the diamond is not in time. Good hustle by Aiden Macris getting out of the box. Kevin Conway, the third baseman, had to wait for the ball to get to him, and his throw just not in time. So an infield single for Aiden. 1-on-1 out in the third.
I want to give a shout-out to Zach Ivanchko. Ivanochko. He was basically doing the splits, trying to make that play, but he just couldn't quite get it in time. But he was down there, Mick.
And Macris, a good base runner for a guy as big as he is. Here's the first pitch to to Balas Buckmaster. Comes up empty. Balas with a 2-run single his first time up today. Bruins have used the strategy of Gravel for mostly defensive purposes and Buckmaster for mostly offensive purposes this entire weekend.
It's a deadly combination, too, Mick.
1-1 the count. The native of Anchorage, Alaska. Gets back in the batter's box. Straightaway batter's stance. Down low once again, 2-1. Long look down at head coach Dwayne Monlux. 6-2 our score. There's no 10-run rule in the 7-inning first game of the doubleheader. In tight, now 3-1. Again, the hitter's delight. You can focus on a pitch in a spot.
Watkins back up on the mound. Shaking his arm a little bit.
Macris, the runner at first base, does have 2 stolen bases on the year, a perfect 2 for 2. Not going here, and the pitch catches the inside corner, breaking ball. Balas thought it missed, but his opinion does not count. So let's see if Macris is in motion here. 1 out in the inning, doesn't have to go, or is not an automatic go. He is going, and the ball's hit in the air to right center field. Center fielder Carson Lundmark able to get there and make the catch on the warning track just to the left of the scoreboard out there in right center field. Second out of the inning. Buckmaster gave it a ride, but Lundmark makes the catch.
That was a really good catch by Lundmark, especially with, as I'll say it many times today. The way the wind is gusting, you can't really get a good lock on the ball because where you see it in the air is not where it's going to be when it comes down.
That time the wind may have helped Lundmark as it's blowing out toward left field, so it pushed the ball back towards him as he was heading towards right field. Here's C.J. Townsend. First pitch swinging, foul ball on a play right side. C.J. picked up an RBI on a fielder's choice his first time up today as part of that 6-run uprising for the Bruins in the first inning. Watkins comes set. Down low, 1-1. CJ's parents, Bill and Pam, in the stands here today for Senior Day. Line hard. Villarreal, the shortstop, makes the play to second base. A nice play by the Comet shortstop, Tony Villarreal, to retire the Bruins. 6-4 on the putout of Macris at second base. Fielder's choice for C.J. Townsend. No runs on one hit. No errors and one man left on base. 3 innings in the book. The Bruins 6 and the Comets 2.
Villarreal did a very good job fielding that and just defensively, once again, slid, did exactly what you need a good shortstop to do, and got it to first just in time for the out.
The slide allowed him to both make the catch and be in a good position to throw it to second base for the out. Line scores again in the hits department and the air department. They're identical, but in the runs department for the Bruins, 6 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. For the Comets, 2 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. Had a nice quick visit with Alec Ackerman. Alec, a big member of the Bruin baseball squad for the last several years. He graduated last year, now back in Colorado. He's working on a career as a financial analyst, financial planner. Good of Alex to swing on by the press box and say hi. Alec had a redshirt year in the middle of his 3 years as a Bellevue Bruin. Had a shoulder injury, as I recall, and first team All-North Star Athletic Association member in each of the 2 years in which he actually did play. Let's get ready for the top of the 4th inning. It'll be the 7-8-9 part of the order for Mayville State. Riley Rankin, the catcher, will lead things off. A strikeout victim his first time up.
Leading off number 22, Riley Rankin.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Rankin, a .276 hitter on the year, had a couple of hits yesterday. Another breaking ball. That one stays up and in.
That one was really close to hitting Rankin.
Fastball right down the heart of the plate. Rankin expecting something different on that as he took a good pitch down to the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Another fastball, and that one is perfect. So Rankin got fooled a couple of times. He's struck out both times he's been up this afternoon.
I'd like to issue a correction from earlier. I mentioned Crosby, Texas had a population of 3,400, but that was as of 2020. As of 2023, it's 3,038.
Oh,
So-
going the wrong direction.
I apologize for all the Crosby listeners.
Here's first baseman Zach Evanochko. Swing and a miss. Kenji Miller allowed a couple of runs on 3 hits the last inning, but he's back on form in the 4th. Fastball just a little bit low. Evanochko 6'4", so he's a pretty big target up there. That breaking ball again, swing and a miss. So Kenji's breaking stuff today has found a lot of empty swings. The 1-2, way wide. Logan Grant has to jump out from his crouch to snag that one.
He did a really good job grabbing that before it got any farther back.
Kenji, the wind and the breaking ball. That's hit left side, but it's going to get out of play.
That one belongs to the trees.
John Stella Field at Brown Park sits in a natural bowl, 3 sides surrounded by steep hills. Again, foul out of play left side.
That
On
one
the
also
east,
belongs.
on the east, the south, and the west, only open to the north when the ball's that are hit high in the air, down low. Balls hit high in the air. Once they get the wind affecting them outside of the bowl, they're going to get some extra distance. Here's a full count pitch to Evanochko. Breaking ball hit on the ground. Stephen Elsner makes the play and steps on the base for the second out of the inning. You know, Elsner had trouble in the last inning on a ball almost identical hit by Jalen Denton, went off his body and allowed a run to score. That one he handled perfectly. Here's the 9-hole hitter, shortstop Tony Villarreal.
Good Samaritan pointed out to one of the guys from the Mayville bullpen where the first ball that went foul deep into the forest went.
Backdoor breaking ball, strike one. Again, Miller working ahead against most of the batters he's faced thus far in the first 3 2/3 innings. Quickly working. Again, a swing and a miss. Kenji wastes no time. He gets the ball back from Logan Grant. Don't have to put a clock on him. Gets the signal, begins his windup, and delivers. Chopped on the ground. Third baseman Scott Henson going to his glove hand side. On the money once again. 5-3 on the play. It's a 3 up, 3 down, top of the 4th inning. Our score remains the Bellevue Bruins 6 and the Mayville Comets 2.
I haven't seen that. Oh, nope, there he is. Looks like the player for Mayville found the ball deep in the woods. I was getting worried, Mick. I was hearing when he was going to pop out, but he found the ball, threw it back in.
That was our entertainment during the summers when we were little kids in the neighborhood. I grew up just on the south side of the park here. We'd come down and be ball shaggers for the teams as they play. They hit them up on the hills. We'd go find them, and some of the teams, we'd get a reward. They'd give us a dime for every foul ball that we would turn in. But back then, a dime would buy you a pop and a bag of popcorn at the concession stand. That was my first job, by the way, as a 6th grader. My first job was working at the concession stand at Brown Park. It was an old Army surplus Quonset hut that was over here on the third base side.
Oh.
Not the most sanitary. It was originally the bathrooms for Brown Park, and then they converted it from bathrooms to a concession stand as they built new bathrooms on the first base side. So any of you listening in that are old Brown Park Rugrats from back in the day, we had a visit yesterday with Bellevue Athletic Director Ed Lahotak, who grew up just a little bit north of here, the Deer Park area. Yeah, but he remembered playing a lot of ball games down here in his youth as well. Here we go at the top of the order in the bottom of the 4th inning. Scott Henson, his 3rd at-bat of the afternoon.
A very storied history this ballpark has, Mick.
Yeah, been here for over a century as a baseball field. A lot of ball games have been played. One of my favorite pictures is the 1926 picture on the wall over there of several hundred fans watching a game. Out to right field, but a good jump on the ball by Chris Shotbell, able to track that one down for the first out of the inning. Outfielders got a lot of work yesterday. A lot of fly balls, some great catches by players on both teams. Here's first baseman Stephen Elsner. 0 for 1, and a run scored after he was hit by a pitch in the first inning. Calvin Watkins has settled down nicely since that rough inning number 1.
So sometimes you just need to knock the rust off a little bit. Just get it out of your system so then you can lock in for the rest.
That pitch upstairs.
Although, knocking off the rust, you probably don't want to allow 6 runs while you do that.
Watkins wearing number 13 on his jersey, so he must not be superstitious. Bruins on a 13-game winning streak. There's a strike called. 2-1.
Starting to see a pattern here, Mick.
Yeah. We also throw some math at you during our broadcasts. With Gus momentarily, the flag's almost straight out in straightaway center field. Again, about a 20-mile-an-hour breeze with gusts higher than that, closer to 30, blowing from right field to left field. Out of the southeast, kind of an unusual direction for this area. That one just a bit outside as Stephen Elsner heads down to first base. Logan Grant will be the next Bruin hitter.
Now I want to watch Major League again, Mick.
There we go. I'll be Bob Euchre, and you get to be the sidekick. I forget their names in the movie, but I don't have a flask of bourbon beside me, though. I must admit that. Grant awaits the first pitch. That one misses outside as well. Good job by catcher Riley Rankin to come out of his crouch to flag it down. Down low and in. 2-0. A visit from head coach Billy Tomlin. Wants to talk to his right-hander. Is there action in the bullpen up the third base side?
Not yet.
Yeah, 12 just got out.
Yep, 12 just got up. All right.
So that's Jake Hutter.
Want to remind all of our senior parents we
In yesterday's
senior honoring after our second
first game, Garrett Lundmark got the start. Jake Hutter came in relief of him in game number 1. Derek Palmier the start in game 2 yesterday. Jack Patton came in relief there. So Comets did not use a whole lot of pitchers yesterday, so their bullpen still very much in play for today's doubleheader. The same can be said for the Bellevue Bruins. Parker McMahon got the start and win in game number 1. Braden Anderson came on for the save. In game number 2, Jace Wessels got the complete game victory for the Bruins. Here's the next pitch. Swung on to first base. Evan Ochko makes the play on the lead runner at second. The return throw to first is not in time. So a fielder's choice for Logan Grant. Nice play by Evan Ochko to snare it and get the lead runner out. And a good job by pitcher Calvin Watkins getting over to cover first base, but the throw not in time.
Evan Ochko doing a really good job using his height to his advantage there. He barely jumped off the ground. All he really did was reach up and pluck it out of the air before he threw it over to second.
Here's the Bruins cleanup man, Jake Lacey. Jake, again, a great doubleheader yesterday with 5 hits combined in the 2 games. Fouls that first pitch back to the net.
You mentioned Mayville's pitching earlier. They are not wanting for pitching. They do a thing that a lot of these teams will do, and they kind of sometimes will put position players in to pitch.
That one's hit and through. Base hit will be the official scores on that one as Jake Lacey. A sacrifice, a hit by pitch, and now a base hit puts Bruins with runners at first and second and 2 away for left fielder Elijah Tanner.
Now, that one, it looked like it either went right between Conway's legs or was just slightly off to the left of him, but he got down to try to get it, and then by the time he got down, he looked around like, you know, you drop a penny or something and you're looking for it on the ground, and then by the time he figured out what happened, it was already way behind him.
The old TH, too hot to handle. 2 on, 2 out. Here's the first pitch to Tanner, down low. Bellevue pitchers on the season, a team earned run average of 4.84. For the Comets, about double that at 9.51. Bellevue averaging about 8.5 runs per game. Hard hit ball and through Elijah Tanner. Here comes the runner around third base, heading for home. Is Jalen Ruffin, the courtesy runner, and he slides in with the 7th run of the game for the Bruins.
Elijah Tanner, that was a chip shot. You know, the Masters are happening this weekend. It looked like he was trying to get out of the sand trap and onto the green the way he hit that ball, and it worked out. If you want to call the outfield the green.
2nd run batted in of the day for Elijah. A single in the 1st, a single in the 4th, both of them plating runs. Still 2 on, still 2 out. Here's Anthony Lind, who had a sacrifice fly and a run batted in his first time up.
It's a nice wood-colored bat. I like that.
I made that comment yesterday, too. It looked like a different bat for Anthony than what he'd been using on the season. Slider from Watkins in the zone. He's ahead 0-1. 7 runs on 6 hits now for the Bruins. Bruins taking advantage of some scoring opportunities. Tight 1-1.
Right at his knees, too.
325 is the distance down both the left and right field lines, about 380 to straightaway center field. Breaking ball misses in.
That one looked to be about at his thighs. Slowly working our way up.
2-1 on Anthony, the Omaha native. Down the right field line, Wynn pushing it. Right fielder giving chase, but he won't be able to make a play. Good hustle by Chris Schotbell. He's been active, running all over the place in right field, but came up just a stride or two short of making the play down the foul territory.
That was a really good effort. He tried to run for it, and he even slid down. I think he slid about 5 feet before he came to a stop on the grass out there.
Here's another Deuces Wild situation. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Anthony's going to need a moment to readjust his protective device on his lead elbow.
John Stella Field, of course, has the turf infield and the grass outfield.
Nope, turf all the way around.
Oh.
That one's hit hard to left field. Left fielder giving chase, but won't be able to make the play. Here comes Elsner around, or excuse me, not Elsner, but Lacey coming around to score on an RBI double by Anthony Lind. So Lind also picks up his 2nd run batted in of the day, as he's now standing at second base. Elijah Tanner at third, and Jake Lacey plating the 8th run of the game for the home team. Again, back to a 6-run lead for the Bruins. 2 more runners in scoring position for DH, Aiden Macaris. Macaris will walk in a single. Opportunity for him to add to his RBI total as Calvin Watkins pitch low and in. Aiden with 19 runs batted in on the year. Watkins comes set. Low and away, blocked up by Riley Rankin. No advance from third. Elijah Tanner, the base runner on third, gets his lead in foul territory. Then he'll come back in fair territory to try to prevent a throw that way from Rankin on the knees. Strike called, makes it a 2-1 count. A little bit too tall on that. So a 3-1. Hitter's advantage for Macaris.
Shimmies a little bit, just waiting for the ball to come.
Had a good hit on that one. Sailing. Goodbye. 3-run home run for Aiden Macaris as he goes yard for the 2nd time in this series. Tanner and Lind score in front of him. I mentioned before he had 19 runs batted in, add 3 more to that total. So 22 runs batted in, and now 7 home runs. His 2nd home run of the series for Aiden Macaris. The Bruins jump out to an 11-2 lead, and that looks like it'll be the end of the line for starting pitcher Calvin Watkins. 11 runs on 8 hits against Watkins as a new pitcher coming in. And the gray uniforms with royal blue trim for Mayville today only have the numbers on the back, so we'll have to hope he turns around so we can see number 30-something, 36, I believe. There we go. Number 36 is the new pitcher for the Comets.
Isaac Mata. Mata?
Mata.
Mata.
You had it right. Isaac Mata, the first reliever in.
Should have trusted myself, Mick. Although trusting myself is what made me think that the outfield was grass.
Isaac Mata, a junior out of San Antonio, Texas, my old college stomping grounds. Mata will come on in relief. All this has happened with 2 outs. The first out of the inning, a fly ball, then a walk and a fielder's choice, then single, double, and home run. Have plated 5 more runs in this inning. 6 runs in the first, 5 thus far in the fourth. The Bruins have opened up, again, a very sizable lead.
For the Comets, now pitching number 36, Isaac Mata.
Mata sporting a 6.14 ERA so far in this season in 4 appearances. 6 strikeouts on the year, too, through 7 1/3 innings pitched.
Very good.
Thank you, the internet.
First man, Isaac Mata, will face Balas Buckmaster for the Bruins. Buckmaster 1 for 2 today with 2 runs batted in on that first inning single with the bases loaded. Balas steps into the right-handed batter's box. San Antonio, Texas versus Anchorage, Alaska on this matchup. Swinging first pitch, fouled up the first base side.
We call this the Big State Brawl.
There we go. The 2 largest states in the country going at each other here.
2 very different climates as well.
Most definitely. Mata goes to the windup. Pitch looked like a changeup, stays low. 1-1 to count on Balas.
Mata taking a breath before this next pitch.
Spins a breaking ball in the zone, now 1-2. We talked about how Kenji Miller likes to work very quickly for the Bruins. Isaac Mata, more deliberate pitcher, takes his time.
Sometimes you got to do the slow game.
Tries the breaking ball again. That one misses off. Good discipline by Balas to lay off of that.
It's a really good way to kind of shift the energy, too. Last half inning, it was bam, 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 and now you finally have a chance to grab the reins, maybe set your own tempo.
The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball hammered in left field. It's another hit for Balas. That one's going to roll to the fence around first base on his way to second. And he will slide in safely. Second hit of the game for Balas Buckmaster as he keeps the inning going for C.J. Townsend. And we'll have a re-entry. Nick Gravel will head back into the game for the Bruins. He'll be the runner at second base, so Balas Buckmaster's day will be done. Nick Gravel returns to the lineup on the re-entry.
14, Nick Gravel. Now batting the short.
So Balas, a single, a fly out, and a double. 2 runs batted in. His work at the plate today in game number 1. CJ has hit into fielder's choices each of his first 2 times up today. Trying to keep the hit parade going for the Bellevue Bruins. Train whistle coming from the railroad tracks down about a mile away from here along the Missouri River to the east side of Brown Park.
Choo-choo.
Sometimes we get airplanes flying into Offutt Air Force Base overhead. We got trains to the east. We've got smoke from Kansas. That was hit in the air to shallow right field. Right fielder going on, coming on. A nice catch out there on the run from right fielder Curtis Shotbell. Again, he's been a busy guy out there. That catch will retire the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Bruins pick up a 5 spot. 5 runs.
We are going to the 5th. Bruins up 11.
on 5 hits. Good symmetry in that.
I do love
One man left on base in the inning after 4 complete. The Bruins 11 and the Comets 2.
I do love me some symmetry.
There we go.
When Shot Bill went for that ball, I don't know if he caught it and then tripped or if he caught it as he was tripping. Catch is a catch. Good catch, too.
Couple more texts in the queue. Let's go Bruins. Cheering from Hamilton, Ontario. Papa Mac listening in. We appreciate that. You've sent along texts on a couple of days. Aiden, you got to be very happy with Aiden's last shot. That booming 3-run home run that pushed the Bruins lead to 9. Oh, here we go. This is for you, Nick. Crosby is an unincorporated area of Harris County, not an actual city.
Oh!
And the population is closer to 30,000 and growing. 5A schools, about 200 or more in each graduation class. And we got a nice compliment. Doing a great job announcing, enjoying the commentary. So from Dana Rankin, I got to believe that's Riley's mom or family member from down in the Lone Star State. Thanks for updating us with that information. Can't always trust Mr. Google. Here's the top of the 5th inning, top of the order for the Comets. Chris Shotbell, the right fielder. Using his legs, covering some distance out there defensively. He's 1 for 2 on offense. Mile high in the air to left center field. Who's going to take charge? It'll be the left fielder, Isaiah Tanner. What did I say? Elijah Tanner for the first out of the inning, having to backtrack just a couple of steps. The wind pushing it. But he makes the adjustment and the play. Here's Kevin Conway, the third baseman. He's also 1 for 2.
It's a good thing we didn't have any planes flying over.
First pitch strike call for Kenji Miller on for his 5th inning of work.
That ball would have hit the belly of any low-flying plane.
Now 1-1 on that skipper. The first 4 batters in the order for Mayville State have all collected the hits thus far. Into center field, and a nice sliding catch out there. Great play by Jake Lacey to steal a hit from Kevin Conway.
That was an incredible catch. He slid, he caught it, he rolled, he was on his back. It's what you want to see in an outfielder.
You don't get grass stains because it's not grass, but you kind of get pebble discoloration, and so Jake Lacey wearing some black on his left pant leg after making that sliding catch. The next batter, center fielder Carson Lundmark. He too is 1 for 2. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. They each have 1 hit. That little comebacker. Kenji off the mound to throw to first base in time to retire the speedy Carson Lundmark. Another 1, 2, 3 inning in the top of the 5th as we go to the bottom half of the frame. It's 11-2. Bruins in charge. One final call on the text message here for game number 1. Thanks, everybody, for joining in so far. 402-515-7654. Mick Krupski and Nick Grimm bringing you the broadcast today.
Just trying to do more of a deep dive into the Crosby, Texas area.
Isaac Mata back to the mound for the Comets and the Bruins, who sent 9 to the plate. They batted around in the 1st. They batted around in the 4th as we get ready for the 5th.
You know, with the way the wind's going, and I know we've seen a couple go that way, but we've seen more balls fly over to right and center than we have left. I figured we'd see a lot more go left just with the nature of.
I think part of the strategy when you have a day where the wind is blowing out so hard to left, you're going to try to work the outside part of the plate a little bit more and try to keep the ball down more as a pitcher. So that may be one of the reasons why a lot of the right-handed batters are hitting the ball opposite way. Here's Scott Henson for his 4th plate appearance on the afternoon. 0 for 2, a couple of fly balls, both of them to right field, as Nick just mentioned. First pitch from Isaac Mata, down low. Mata, 5'10" junior. Down low once again, 2-0. On the Comet roster, Mata listed as a utility player, which means he can do it all.
He can do it all, but I think they've only used him mostly on the mound so far this season.
Mata looks in, gets the signal from Rankin, and delivers. Upstairs, 3-0 the count for Scott Hansen, leading it off in the bottom of the 5th inning for the Bruins, up by 9 runs. No 10-run rule in the 7-inning contest, otherwise this one would be done. There is a 10-run rule at 7 innings in the second 9-inning game. Down low, so a 4-pitch walk for Scott Hansen as he leads it off.
A couple weeks ago, Mata had a season-high strikeout with 4 against Dickinson State.
Brings up Steven Elsner, 2-hole hitter for the Bruins. A lot more power than you usually see in a 2-hole hitter, or at least traditionally. I mean, Major League Baseball, you got power guys now in the 2-hole, and that's a big change from what baseball was played 20 years ago or more. Up the middle, Villarreal, only opportunity at first base. The throw is off the mark. It looked like Elsner had it beat out anyway. So Elsner will get credit for an infield single and an E6 on the throw. That allows Scott Hansen to go all the way to third. Hit and error on the play, so a walk, a hit, and an error thus far for the first 2 batters as Logan Grant steps to the plate. Logan 1 for 3 so far today.
The catcher, number 10.
Logan with 46 career home runs in 3 years as a Bellevue Bruin. He'd love to add another one.
Why not?
Got underneath that one. It's high up in the air, left field side. Third baseman makes the play. Good job by Kevin Conway staying with that one, going back, then going to his glove hand side. And his catch is the first out of the inning.
That was a really good catch, too, because he extended his arm pretty far just to make that catch, just where the ball was going.
Center fielder, number 21.
Right now, left field is kind of the sun field. As the day goes on, it'll move to center and to right. Here's Jake Lacey. Throw to first base. Lacey, a sacrifice fly for a run batted in, was hit by a pitch and a single. So he's getting on base today. Breaking ball from Mata in the zone. Dwayne Monluck's running through the signs, but up by 9 runs. Bruins probably don't have anything on but get a hit. Jake keeps his hands back. They'll appeal to first, but rule no swing, or confirmed a no swing. 2-0 the count on the Bruins cleanup hitter out of Gillette, Wyoming. Played his college ball, junior college ball in Montana. Lays off another breaking ball. So Mata's trying to get the Bruin batters to extend their strike zone. Falls behind 2-1. Wide once again, now 3-1. Again, to look down to Coach Monlux. Again, congratulations to Coach Dwayne Monlux and his staff. They went over the 600 career wins in 15 years at Bellevue University. Had a hack at a 3-1 pitch. Count goes full. Hansen at third, Elsner at first. Lacey at the plate. Jake readies. Mata's ready. And a throw over to first base, so now we're unready for a few seconds.
Playing the mind game.
Wind continues to blow across the field from the right side to the left side. And pitch in the dirt, ball 4. Jake Lacey will reach for his 4th consecutive time today. Each time a different way. That dropped fly ball in right field, which was a sacrifice fly and run batted in, then a hit by pitch, then a single, and now a walk. And that looks like the end of the line for reliever Isaac Mata. As Billy Tomlin back to the mound, he'll take the ball, and we'll get ready for a tall southpaw for Mayville State.
He is tall.
All right, turn around, young man, so we can see your number, please.
Something with a 5.
Yeah, possibly 35. $15, yay!
That would be Ben Dawson. 6'5" from Fargo, North Dakota.
So Ben Dawson will become the 3rd pitcher of the game for the Comets as he tries to stop the Bruin attack in the bottom of the 5th. All right, Mr. Dawson. No wins, no losses, an 11.70 earned run average. This is his 6th appearance on the year. He's thrown 10 innings, has allowed 14 hits, 13 runs, all of them earned, has struck out 10 and walked 6. That's the body of work so far in 2025 for Ben Dawson. He'll get his 8 warm-up tosses, and we'll get back to the action.
Well, Mata did a pretty good job for the most part. That was pretty par for the course for him. I think the most innings he's pitched so far this season is 3 2/3 to begin with, so it seems like they like to use Mata as more of a bridge kind of pitcher.
Couple more texts in the queue. The Alaska Fan Club. Another great job. Thanks for the compliment, Buck. Always love to hear those.
Thank you, Buck.
Shout out to Calvin Watkins and all the Mayville team from Calvin's second mom, Ms. Joan. Glad you're with us today, Ms. Joan. And one more here real quickly. Go Comets. Good job, Calvin. Mom loves you. All right, so
Calvin Watkins. Second mom.
Very good. Calvin Watkins, the starting pitcher today.
Number 9,
and Calvin Watkins' dad, Rich, from Tampa, Florida, watching the game live. Rough game for him. He wears number 13 after Dan Marino, the old quarterback for the Miami Dolphins.
That's my football team, Mick.
Give him a Go Ducks shout-out for me. Packing and heading for a cruise tomorrow, and a compliment about our announcing. Well, we always appreciate that. Have fun on your cruise. As the first pitch is ball 1 to Elijah Tanner.
Also, fins up.
There you go.
I hope Tua can do something this season.
Elijah back to wearing his number 9 jersey. He wore 29 yesterday, the black uniforms. Had a healthy cut on that one. Fouls it off both the catcher and the umpire. And Riley Rankin will go out and talk to his pitcher here. That'll allow our home plate umpire to get an extra couple moments or so after getting bonked on the bean with that foul ball. Bo Verglitz behind the plate today. Curtis Carlson and Chris Sintek on the bases. And that will not count as a mound visit, as it was a courtesy. 11 runs on 10 hits for the Bruins, so another double-digit day in runs scored and hits for the Bruins. Off the outside edge. Left-hander's fastball will tail away from a right-handed batter, especially if you throw a two-seamer. Four-seamer is going to be a little faster and a little straighter. Tanner awaits. Fouls that one out of play right side.
Last time Dawson was on the mound was just a few days ago, Wednesday at Mount Mary. Went through 1 inning there, allowing 2.
Mount Marty, part of the Great Plains
Marty.
Athletic Conference down in Yankton, South Dakota.
Need to get my eyes checked, Mick.
Here's the pitch. Little nubber, that's going to stay foul. Thought it might work its way back towards fair territory, but it stays in foul territory. Elijah hoping for a 3-hit day. He's got 2 so far. 2 out of 3, 2 runs batted in. Dawson awaits, now delivers. Backdoor breaking ball, stays outside.
It's a little bit of a sidearm delivery.
Yeah, sometimes he'll drop down a little bit more than other times. It's definitely towards the 3/4 slot. Fouled out of play once again. Pitch on the outer half, spoiled by Elijah.
Have you seen in MLB those pitchers that are wearing their pants basically above their knees?
Yeah, just like some of the football players that started a couple years ago too. I mean, just for football, your kneecaps, I mean, are totally exposed. I don't like that look in either sport. Again, the pitch trying to shoot outside, but it stays up and away. And Elijah Tanner will draw the walk, so he's been on base 3 of the 4 times he's been up today. And he'll also get credit for a run batted in with the bases loaded. Scott Hansen touches the plate. Steven Elsner on to third. Jake Lacey to second. So Bruins trying to cash in more. Just 1 out in the inning as Anthony Lynn steps in.
I've noticed that a lot too lately. Just players not caring about their knees. Those are important. Protect those.
Dawson sets at the belt. That pitch hits the outside corner. Strike 1 called. Anthony with a sacrifice fly and a run-scoring double today, so 2 runs batted in for the Bruin right fielder. A little waggle in the bat as he awaits the pitch from Dawson. That one misses up and away, 1-1. Anthony's been on the North Star All-Star team each of the last 2 years. Chopped on the ground to short. Villarreal, the toss to second, and it's dropped there. Are they going to say initial out? They say no, that was never a full possession by second baseman Jack McQueen.
Errors on the second baseman.
Thank you.
To the shortstop.
All right, so fielder's choice for Anthony Lynn. Tanner safe at second on the E4. Elsner comes in to score the 13th run of the game, and Lacey advancing to third. So an opportunity for a double play ball to get out of the inning was not turned, and that'll bring up Aiden Macaris once again. Macaris, that long home run his last time up, lays off that high fastball.
That's got to be such a demoralizing thing to happen.
2 errors in the inning now against Mayville State. 3 on the game. Hit in the air. Shallow center field. Carson Lundmark comes on. Will there be a tag? There is. The throw to the plate. One hopper, but it's not in time. Jake Lacey scores the run, and that'll give Aiden Macaris a sacrifice fly and a run batted in. Second out of the inning, and the Bruins still with 2 base runners on at first and second for Nick Gravel. Nick back into the game, batting and fielding in the second base position.
Lundmark tried, but he just didn't quite have the arm to get all the way to home plate.
And then it took kind of a high hop before getting to the catcher Rankin. Swing and a miss by Gravel. Going for the downs on that one. Nick, the sophomore from Halifax, Nova Scotia. New Scotland, if you speak Latin.
Oh, I don't. See, we always learn things here.
The old history teacher in me, I love the Roman Empire. That pitch on the outside edge, 0-2 the count.
You know that saying, guys always think about the Roman Empire. We do.
I'm a gladiator at heart. No, not really.
Although I've always been a little more into Greece than Rome.
classical history with you as well today. Little chopper, Gravel with some good plate coverage. Now it's a foot race, and Nick will win it.
Base hit.
Base hit for Nick Gravel. Perfectly placed out there where Evanochko and Dawson, neither of them could really make a play on it. So the bases are loaded once again. Tanner's at third, Linda's at second. Gravel is at first, and here is C.J. Townsend. C.J. with 1 run batted in on senior day. He'd love to add to that total as the Bruins continue to pull away from the Comets. Kind of came in on the hands, able to foul it out of play. People in the stands enjoying a nice sunshiny day. Temperature right now at 73 degrees.
It is a beautiful day.
Again, a ball hit in the air. It's going to get out of play right side. Yesterday we had temperatures in the mid-60s, hardly any breeze at all and bright sunshine, so that was a great day for baseball. Today it's warmer but windier, and again, Mr. Sun is shining down on us, so we'll take both of these days as opposed to the 30-degree weather that we sometimes play in. The pitch from Dawson. CJ lines it hard, but it hooks foul down the left field line.
Mick, honestly, I'm just glad I can sit in this broadcast booth and not have to have a jacket on. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. It's beautiful.
We know that springtime is really coming our way. Looking out, we see some of the trees at Brown Park starting to bud out their leaves. Down low, my garden in my backyard, the daffodils are up, the tulips are starting to poke up. All kinds of flowering trees as well in the area, so
I think we're
April 12th officially, but hey, we'll call it spring. Spring is here. No more snow. No more freezing temperatures. CJ foul tips it. Oh, foul tips it in the catcher's glove, and the strikeout retires the side. Kind of a slow motion play there.
It was.
The Bruins pick up 3 more runs in the inning, and that takes us to a 14-2 score. 14 runs on 11 hits, 1 error for the Bruins. 2 runs on 4 hits and 3 errors for the Mayville State Comets as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Bruins enjoying a 12-run lead.
So I am a little upset. My better half is going to be mowing our lawn today, and we both love mowing. We fight for it. Usually it's I get the front yard, she gets the backyard situation, but I guess she just gets the whole thing today if she wants it.
Wow, I'm going to have to tell my wife that. There are certain boy jobs and girl jobs in our house, and mowing the grass is definitely a boy job. Cutting the grass, shoveling the snow. If we get a blizzard, Jody will come out and help me with the snow. But when I had some surgery a couple years ago, I couldn't do it. So, and my son had surgery the same week, and so she was forced to do it the one time. And I have some video of it, but you can't hardly see what the video is because I was laughing so hard at the way she was trying to mow. So, sorry, Jody, sharing our family secrets like that on the air, but love you, honey. Top of the 6th inning, 14-2 our score. Leading it off for the visiting Comets, the designated hitter, Cam Goff. Goff was hit by a pitch the first time up and then an RBI single on his second appearance.
Made it all the way to third base, too.
Strike 1 called on the first pitch. Kenji Miller continuing to do a nice job on the mound for the Bruins this afternoon, coming in with a 5-0 record. He's got a pretty good chance to go 6-0. In a 7-inning contest, you need 4 innings to qualify for the win. He's already in his 6th. Trying to get a complete game if he can.
He's already got 1 complete game on the season, Kenji does.
Goff fouls that one away, 0-2 the count. Hit in the air to right field. Anthony Lynn having to backtrack, still having to backtrack, got turned around, but makes the catch. 1 stride in front of the fence. Oh, Anthony, a nice job of staying with that one. He turned to his left side originally, then the wind was pushing it away from him the other way. Was able to make that ballerina move and collect it. for the first out of the inning.
Batting next to the Comets, left field.
He did not back down either. He saw the tarp over that chain fence out there coming up. He just put his hand out and he rolled with the punch.
Next batter, left fielder, Jalen Denton. One of the drawbacks of a field turf field is there's a different colored turf out there, brown instead of green, but you can't feel that like you can feel the rocks or gravel of a natural field.
Mm-hmm.
So you just, you know what the fence is about, but you don't know where it is exactly. Breaking ball, called strike, 1-1 to count.
Why don't they just make
on
it different?
Denton. Well, you could go with the gravel warning track, but then again, you'd have the maintenance of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Foul tip, 1-2. All the hits for Mayville State today have come from the first 4 batters. Each of them have gotten 1 hit. 5 through 9, 0 for.
Why don't they make it shag carpet, Mick?
You'll have to suggest that to the manufacturer when Bellevue builds its new facility south of Bellevue. Kenji looks in, gets the signal from Grant. Hit in the air to right field. Anthony Lynn will have an easier time with this one as he looks it in. And if there's one more fly ball to right field, Anthony Lynn will tie a major league record.
Oh.
Yeah. 3 putouts in an inning. Shared by millions of people at every level of baseball over the years.
Next, second baseman, number 5, Jack McQueen.
Jack McQueen, the second baseman, is grounded out to Scott Hansen at third. Both of his plate appearances today. That's going to be a base hit. So somebody besides the top 4 in the lineup will get a hit. Jack McQueen taking care of that fastball with the line drive to center field for a 2-out single. That keeps the inning alive. Oh, we might have a pinch hitter here. It looks like we will. Riley Rankin, the catcher, is in this spot, but we'll have a pinch hit here from number 4, Brock Barlow, a pinch hit opportunity.
Barlow from Las Vegas, Nevada, junior, hitting .206 this season.
Thank you, Nick. First pitch swinging in the air to shallow left center field. Again, a trio of players coming on. Elijah Tanner will call off his teammates and make the catch to retire the side. No runs on 1 hit. No errors and 1 man left on base. We're through 5.5. The Bruins 14 and the Comets nothing. 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points for the Bruins. 1 safety for the Comets, if we're going to use a football analogy. Ben Dawson back to the mound for the Comets. Bruins be batting in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Bruins have batted around, sending 9 men to the plate in each of the 4th and 5th innings. So once again, it'll be Scott Hansen to lead things off for the Bruins. It'll be his 5th plate appearance in the 6 innings. We may see some pinch hitters here, however, as Dwayne Mollix with lineup card in hand, talking with Sean Malley down that way. Dwayne Mollix in his 15th year again. Congrats with over 600 wins now as a Bellevue Bruin. Associate head coach Mitch Schmidt has been here for 19 seasons, a couple years with Mike Evans. And now with Dwayne Mollix, pitching coach Sean Malley, 18 seasons, so same can be said about him. Assistant coach Richie Moore, 15 years. Tip of the cap to his dad Larry, who is a frequent member of the crowd here at Brown Park. And new first-year assistant coach Drew Nielsen on the staff as well. So now up to 603 wins on the year, I believe, for Coach Mollix, as we've got a pinch hitter for the Bruins. Jordan Brandenburg will get the opportunity to make the swing. Jordan's lighting it up in North Star play. He's been up 3 times against North Star opponents and has got 3 hits. So hitting for Scott Hansen, Jordan Brandenburg. First pitch is down low. Jordan, one of the seniors on hand today, the California native. 308 on the year. chopper. Foul ball up the third base line.
Mick, what do you have for count?
That was 1-1. Sorry. San Carlos, California, to be exact, as the wind gusts. Off the outside edge. 2-1.
We sure do love our wind here, don't we?
Well, the springtime, boy, you're going to get a ton of it. That's why yesterday's game was so rare. Just a very gentle breeze. I think they said for the next 3 days we can expect conditions like this. Jordan gets into one, sailing out to left field and beyond. Into the trees beyond the left field fence. A great way to celebrate senior day for Jordan Brandenburg, the solo home run.
27.
That ball hit one of the trees in the on the other side of the fence there, right before the parking lot, and it kind of plinkoed down the benches or the branches.
Second home run of the year for Brandenburg. That is run batted in number 10. A happy young man heading back to the bench. And we're going to have another pitch hitter for the Bruins here. This will be number 27, another one of the seniors, Austin Sheaver, will step in, hitting for Steven Elsner.
Just a parade of seniors on senior day.
Yeah, the opportunity to swing the bat. The Kingwood, Texas native. His mom and dad in the crowd today. Had a chance to talk with his mom a little bit yesterday. Brought the family dog along as well.
Oh, what do they got for a dog?
It's kind of a mixed breed, but medium-sized dog. She told me the name yesterday, and I'm sorry I didn't commit it to memory. Has a good hack at that one. Foul back. 1-1 the count.
Well, I know it's a good dog because all dogs are good dogs.
There you go. Austin hitting .222 on the year. Had a couple of shots in the DH spot. Some more at-bats as a pinch hitter, as he's doing right here. 15-2 our score after the Brandenburg solo home run. Two home runs on the day for the Bruin batters. That one misses upstairs. Bellevue came in with 55 home runs on the year. About 1.5 home runs per game on average. Austin awaits the pitch from Ben Dawson. Foul that one out of play right side.
Now, I understand the stat. I know what the stat is saying. But part of me still wants to know what half of a home run would look like.
A double.
Oh, well, fair.
2-2 the count. Sheaver awaits. Still just one out. Hit on the ground to short. Villarreal gloves it, throws it, and retires Austin Sheaver. Now there's one out in the inning on the ground ball. And another pinch hitter. Nolan Walther will come on to pinch hit, not a senior. The junior out of Carriere, Mississippi will hit for Logan Grant. We'll get Nolan's name in the old scorebook here. Walter hitting .219 for the Bruins this year. Breaking ball from Dawson, strike one called.
Still waiting for that first home run, too.
Does have 3 runs batted in 32 at-bats on the year. Chop foul.
I want to run right into the dugout of Mayville State. Just a gentle drop. It hit the net, then it just, boop, plopped.
Nolan started his college career at Southwest Mississippi Community College. Spent 2 years there. Bruins have not had a ton of guys from the Deep South.
They haven't. They like to hang out up north.
Pacific Northwest, more of a fertile recruiting ground. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count on Walter. Had a few over the years. Now 2-2. .6'5", Ben Dawson looks in. Nolan Walter awaits the next pitch. That's going to be a base hit. Solid single to center as Nolan turned around that fastball. 2 hits in the inning, the solo home run, and now the base hit. And Jalen Ruffin will get the opportunity to swing the bat here. He's been used extensively as a courtesy runner or a pinch runner, but Jalen Ruffin now will hit here in Jake Lacey's spot.
Batting next, number 8, Jalen Ruffin.
The newcomer from North Platte, Nebraska. Hitting .188. 3 hits in 16 at-bats for Jalen.
6 stolen bases.
Foul back to the net, just underneath that pitch over the plate. Hey, tip of the cap to Rafael Nakandakari, picking up that loose foul ball. Rafael, I think the first Bellevue player from the country of Brazil. Will give him a little nod for his hustle on that play. The pitch down. Nobody in the on-deck circle, so I'm not sure who's going to be next up in the Bruin order. It's the spot for Elijah Tanner, but that pitch misses away. 2-1 the count. Ben Dawson, the third pitcher of the day. Calvin Watkins got the start. Isaac Mata, the first reliever, and then Ben Dawson now the second reliever. Grounded up the third base line. Only play will be at first. A bang-bang play there. Kevin Conway with a strong throw across the diamond retires Jalen Ruffin. On the play, Nolan Walter advances to second. And the pinch hit parade continues for the Bellevue Bruins. Next up is Xavier Lerma, the 6'2" freshman out of Muscatine, Iowa.
I like Muscatine a lot. It's a beautiful area. I need to go back. I haven't been in a few years.
On the western side of the state, the eastern side of the state of Iowa.
Right on the river.
So one more in scoring position for the Bruins, currently leading 15-2. Lerma fouls it opposite way. Xavier got the start behind the plate a couple weeks ago, one of the midweek games. Giving Logan Grant a little bit of a break, his first opportunity as a Bellevue Bruin. Up and away. Xavier spent 1 year at Iowa Western Community College across the river in Council Bluffs, Iowa. It was a redshirt year, so he has his full eligibility for Bellevue University.
My alma mater. Go Reavers.
Hey. Backdoor breaking ball catches the black. Strike called, 1-2 on Xavier.
Had a lot of good times over on that campus at Iowa Western.
It's grown quite a bit over the years it has been in operation. Lined. Villarreal, the shortstop, makes a diving grab to rob Xavier Lerma and retire the side. Good defensive play prevents the Bruins from scoring any more in the inning. 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. After 6 complete, the Bellevue Bruins 15 and the Mayville Comets 2.
Villarreal has done such a good job defensively. He's not afraid to dive for the ball. He's not afraid to put himself in a position to get that ball to first base. That's exactly what you want to see in a shortstop.
Now, a new pitcher coming on for the home team. Jared Eifler will come on in relief of Kenji Miller. So Kenji only allows 2 runs on 5 hits for Mayville. as Jared Eifler, another one of the senior members, will be honored later today, will toe the rubber here in the top of the 7th and hopefully final half inning of the game. It looks like most of the guys that pinch hit will be staying in the game. We've got Austin Sheaver at first. Nick Gravel stays in at second. Rafael Nakandakari will enter the game and play shortstop. And Austin Sheaver will be at third base. And across the outfield, it looks like Jalen Ruffin will be at center. Anthony Lynn stays in at right. And it looks like Elijah Tanner will be back in, re-entering in left field. So Jared Eifler will get his tosses. 6'4" senior out of Calgary, Alberta, capital of the province of Alberta. This will be the 4th appearance on the season for Jared. He's thrown 3 innings, has given up 6 hits, 4 earned runs, struck out 4 and walked 3. So Jared Eifler trying to shut this one down.
Yeah, I got it now,
First baseman, number 9.
First man up for Mayville. In the 7th, first baseman, Zach Evanochko. 0 for 2 today. Eifler comes set at the belt, and here's his first pitch. Up and away, ball 1. Nolan Walters stays in the game behind the plate as the catcher. Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count. Nick Gravel playing short right field. Anthony Lynn playing deep right field as the Bruins second baseman plays a lot of territory, plays very deep. He's about 15 feet off the infield, what would be the dirt, the infield brown. 2-1 the count.
Yeah.
So Sheaver and Nakandakari, the infielders on the left side.
Corvette was just smoking every single time they did. I saw him.
Butterfly.
Butterfly floats by our screen. 2-2 the count.
It's the first one I've seen all year.
So Austin Sheaver is at first base, I'm sorry. And over at third base is Jordan Brandenburg. So I screwed up on that. Austin can't be at first and third. Brandenburg at third. Nakandakari at short. Chopper off the pitcher's glove, deflected to Nick Gravel. And a fortunate carom off the glove of Jared Eifler. So score that 1-4-3 as Zach Evanochko is retired.
That was one of the most slow motion plays I've seen all day. It was very close. It was very, very, very close.
Now batting number 21, Tanner Boyle.
A pinch hitter for the Comets. Number 21, Tanner Boyle will pinch hit in the 9-hole spot. So both teams employing some pitch hitters, giving some guys an opportunity to shine. Tanner Boyle, no batting average, 6 at-bats, no hits, so a chance for him to get an average if he can get a base hit. Eifler works inner half, gets the strike call, 1-1. Again, the senior day ceremonies will be after game number 2 today. We thought yesterday they'd be in between. That's kind of the time they normally did. And hey, congratulations to Tanner Boyle, his first base hit of the 2025 season. The 6th hit of the game for Mayville State. Off the end of the bat, didn't hit it hard, but hit it in a good spot. So he'll be 1 for 7. 143, I think, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Back to the top of the order for Chris Shotbell. Shotbell 1 for 3.
Seton Hall in baseball, in sports that I
Bounced, blocked up by Walter.
literally, the arenas has the term hauling because they implode.
Yeah.
There was the year in the conference tournament,
Wind is swirling around a little bit out there.
and we won the game on a walk-off wild pitch out. Like he was trying to pitch out to walk a guy, and he threw it to the backstop, and he scored.
On the inside, Black, the strike called.
It's just
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Top of the 7th inning of a 15-2 Bruin thumping.
A lot of ones.
in that inning. That's why I stopped because I want to watch it. So.
Yeah.
Breaking ball swung on and missed.
What did they do? Play-by-play. That inning was air, walk, sack fly, homer. So all those runs.
Bruins with double-digit hits in all 3 of the games in the series so far. Just a little bit high. Now 2-2.
First few years they had like Prevo was their ace, and he was the best pitcher in the league the first 2 years. He shoved, but then the other 2 games we beat them.
Keep them on schedule.
Walter tries to keep that in front, squirts away to his left, and that will allow Tanner Boyle to reach second base on the wild pitch.
That is the 4th wild pitch that Effler's allowed this season.
They went 17 and they beat us the one time in the conference tournament.
Stats.
Full count on the batter, Chris Shotbell. And now Jared wants his catcher, Nolan Walter, to come out to the mound so they can talk about the signals. With nobody on base, you just simply flash down a finger, and you know what it is. With the runner at second base, the Bruins will go to multiple signals to try to confuse the runner so he can't relay signals to the batter. Always better to know what's coming than to have to guess which one of a couple different pitches.
That's fair.
Pitcher and catcher are set on their signals. Walter sets up on the outer half of the plate. That's where the curveball goes, but just a little bit too far outside. So a single and a double put runners at first and second. And the batter will be the third baseman, Kevin Conway. 1 for 3 on the day for Conway. Both Mayville State runs came in the top of the 3rd inning, where they put together 3 hits and an error. Strike called on the outside corner. Jared Eifler on in relief for the Bellevue Bruins. Chopper, and it gets through for a base hit. Here comes a runner around third base. There'll be no throw to the plate, so it'll be an RBI single for Kevin Conway to make it a 15-3 game. As Tanner Boyle, who picked up his first hit of the season, comes all the way from second to score. Chris Shotbell has to stop at second.
First run of the season, first hit of the season. A lot of firsts. That same thing is what happened in the 3rd inning when Mayville State scored their first runs, just right up the middle. It's been a tender spot for Bellevue today.
Here's center fielder Carson Lundmark. Did he check his swing? They're going to ask for the appeal. And he did check it, so ball 1.
Lundmark, again, just has great hair.
Strike call on the fastball from Jared.
I grew my hair about that long a few years ago, just to do it.
You were kind of bored, so you sat around and watched your hair grow, huh?
It's exactly what happened.
Foul ball down the right field line.
Grew a beard, too.
You hippie, you.
I did look a little like it.
I've always been jealous of those guys that could grow a nice beard. I'm just kind of a peach fuzz face guy myself, unfortunately.
Well, I don't know if it was a nice beard. I couldn't get anything on the cheeks. It looked a little awkward.
Eifler back to work, looks the runner at second, and delivers. That's fouled off the front foot of Carson Lundmark. That's going to sting for a bit as he'll limp around for a little bit.
It looked like it came right off the bat and shot. Was it his foot or his shin?
I think his foot.
Oof.
When the ball comes straight down on the front of your foot, that'll sting for a bit. Looks like he's going to be okay as he steps back into the batter's box. 1-2 the count. So Jared Eifler trying to work out of the situation in the 7th inning. Strike.
Whoa.
Ooh. I wasn't the only person who said ooh on that one.
Yeah.
Count evens up at 2-2.
A lot of oohs. Maybe some ahs.
Bruin infielders hoping to turn a double play to get out of the inning if they can. Count will go full. So runners at first and second, full count, but just one out, so they more than likely, trailing by 12 runs, won't be on the move. Schaubel at second, Conway at first. Here's the payoff pitch, and that plunks
Oof.
Carson Lundmark. That just kept coming in on him, and so he will. It's a tough at-bat for Carson. He fouled one off his foot. Now he gets not beamed, but hit on the middle part of his body. So the bases will be loaded. And Cam Goff steps in. 1 for 2 with the run batted in for Goff today. Low and away. So Jared's struggling a bit. Got the first man in the inning out. And then single, walk, single, hit by pitch. Nolan takes a trip out to the mound to talk to his right-hander. So the Mississippi native talking with the Alberta native on the mound.
Also different climates, I'm sure.
Just a little bit. The Carriere-Calgary connection, the battery for the Bruins in this top of the 7th inning. A little number up the first base line, but that's going to stay foul. Count goes to 1-1 on Cameron Goff. Goff out of Florida, Punta Gorda. Gorda's fat. I'm not sure what punta means, so.
I looked this up last night when I was working on my
Breaking
chart.
ball flared down the first base line. That's going to bounce into foul territory.
I don't remember what it was, but we have the internet. Tip.
Tip?
Tip.
Okay. My mind's racing with all kinds of things. I better not say any of them, however. Eifler back to work. Breaking ball. That's hit down the left field line, but that's going to hook foul.
It belongs to the trees now. Seats have filled in quite well here over the last hour or so.
Yeah, we've got, for Senior Day, we've got a lot of Bellevue students, a lot of the members of other athletic teams at Bellevue, some of the coaches as well. Softball also in action today. Again, a foul ball up the third base line. They're playing at Roy Smith Field, also the home of the Omaha South High Packers softball squad. But women's softball a fall sport, so they don't have to share the field at the same time. Bellevue women taking on Mayville State in softball. Same with the Bellevue-Mayville contest here in baseball. They'll play doubleheaders today and tomorrow. Eifler gets the strike call on the outer half, just above the knees. His first strikeout of the game, so bases loaded and now 2 outs. And the batter will be left fielder Jalen Denton.
Left fielder number 14, Jalen.
Quick side note, in this context, because, you know, language is all contextual.
First pitch hit in the air to right field. Anthony Lynn having to go back to the wall, and he runs out of room. A grand slam home run.
Wow.
For Jalen Denton. 4 runs batted in as Shotbell, Conway, and Lundmark score ahead of him. It didn't clear the fence by a ton, but it definitely got over at a bright spot in the final inning of this game. Our score now is 15-7.
Anyway, in this context, Punta Gorda is Fat Point.
Second baseman number 5, Jack McQueen.
15-7 our score. Sorry, the batter is Jack McQueen, the second baseman.
And it refers to a point of land that juts into Charlotte Harbor, which is an estuary of the Gulf of Mexico.
All right.
See, geography.
More geography coming your way on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Oh, let's see, where'd that sheet go? For Jalen Denton, that is home run number 4 on the year. And jumps him up to 17 runs batted in. Oh. Jared Eifler struggling a bit for the Bruins, but trying to close this one out. Still an 8-run lead for the Bruins. Chop foul once again.
Bounced off the foot of one of the coaches for Mayville State.
So a batter's foot has been hit in this inning. A coach's foot has been hit. So some guys hobbling on the Comet lineup over there.
Anybody watching this, maybe just put your feet up a little.
On the ground, right side. Nick Gravel fields it and throws it. Austin Sheaver on the receiving end, and the game comes to an end on the ground out. 5 runs in the inning for the Comets, but they still fall short. The Bellevue Bruins win it by a score of 15-7 for the Bellevue Bruins. 15 runs on 13 hits, 1 error. For the Mayville State Comets, 7 runs on 8 hits, but they committed 3 errors. With the victory, the Bellevue Bruins are now 27-11 on the season, a perfect 11-0 in their start of the season in the North Star Athletic Association. With the loss, Mayville State drops to 11-22 on the year and 3-8 in conference play. Winning pitcher is the Bruins starter, Kenji Miller, now 6-0 on the season. Hitting stars up and down the lineup for the Bellevue Bruins. Again, a situation where a lot of guys banged the baseball around today. Several multiple hit days for Bruin batters. Aiden Macaris with one of the biggest blows of the game, the home run in the 4th inning, and a lot of other guys beyond that. Your final thoughts, Nick, on today's game number 1.
I think that the first inning is really what put the momentum into Bellevue. Allowing 6 runs to score was just, it's not the way to win. And obviously, you know, he shook it off and they were able to, but then in the 4th they attacked again, and Bellevue was just doing just a constant string of hitting after hitting after hitting after hitting.
3 times the Bruins batted around today in the 1st, the 4th, and the 5th innings. That helped to push their run total to 15 on the game. Another multiple double-digit run and hit game for the home team Bruins. Again, we'll have our Senior Day ceremonies coming up after game number 2 today. So for right now, for Nick Grimm and myself, Mick Krupski, signing off. We'll be back for more baseball in about 25 minutes right here on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network.